Has been clicked. We are now live. Hey, Perna, what are you drinking there? Oh, God, he's drowning. He's drowning.
I'm drinking 5 Points coffee.
Bench warm brew. Advertisement before the show. Oh, baby. That's right. That intro was played live by Brandon Perna and I. So
every week we play that music live for the viewers because we do things just a little bit different around here.
Just a little bit different. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. You right there? You okay? Up and now you're broken, dude. Yep.
Oh,
don't
bad.
Move.
Don't do it, kids. Don't do head shakes.
Don't do it
in the morning.
Don't do it. But folks, sometimes on the street, they're like, "Hey, you catch that jibs?" I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Oh, you know, G-P-P-P." Yes. And we're like, "Oh yeah, I've seen jibs before." Tom Grossi, Brandon Perna. Jibs.
Yeah, jibs is definitely a word my 1.5-year-old daughter can say. Jibs. 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 What are you saying?
Yes.
Your show, Daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we got a bunch to talk about, including, of course, the Giants taking my advice and firing Joe Judge as soon as Brian Flores was available. I said it on Friday. I was like, listen, psych. Or Monday, because I don't know what day it was. Monday, they're like, psych, never mind. And they did. So I like to think it was just like that episode, was it a Hard Knocks with the Jets, where the guy tries to go and open the door and the key card doesn't work anymore?
Yeah.
Like, I imagine that's how it was for Joe Judge. I know it wasn't, but that's my headcanon right now of how that works. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all the vacancies right now. Which ones are the most attractive, right? Which one would make the most money selling bathwater on OnlyFans? We're going to break it down. We're going to compare the power rankings. We're going to talk about how Brandon Perna wants to steal all the Green Bay Packers head coaches. We're going to talk about all of them. That's what we got. That's the rundown.
Yeah, it's the head coaching search is going to be a competitive one. And we don't even know if the Raiders' job's actually going to open up or not. So there could be 7 next week, unless the Raiders, keep winning. I'm not sure why the Raiders would move on from the coach who got them to the playoffs, but, it is Mark Davis. We cannot try and figure out Mark Davis. We would be here our whole life. No. We'd stream until we died if we tried to figure out Mark Davis.
That is correct.
Also, Broncos ownership situation got some news yesterday.
We're talking about legal things.
We might touch on that.
Yeah.
Speaking of touching, if you want to touch sports betting, why don't you do a DraftKings Sportsbook? When I think about you, I touch my sportsbook. Check this out, DraftKings fans. The NFL playoffs are here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is kicking things off with a huge offer, counting down to Super Bowl 56. New customers can get 56-1 odds on any wild card team to win their game. Bet just $5, and you can win $280 in free bets if your team is victorious. I love weird odds like that, 56-1 because of Super Bowl 56 going to give you $280 in free bets. You got to use code GPS when you sign up. Or Jibbits. There's a link in the description. It'll take you right to DraftKings. That link has been fixed. No longer is it just taking you to a website of a nude photo of myself. I don't know how that even happened.
Don't know.
I don't know how that happened.
No.
But this link definitely works. Look. And if you can't do it to sports bet, you can sports bet in New York now. So New Yorkers, if you've been waiting to use the code New Yorkers,
I'm in New York.
DraftKings with an authentic New York accent. GPS. And DraftKings Fantasy. You can do fantasy betting over at DraftKings as well. It's just up to you. GPS. I'm a New Yorker. Look at me go.
I'm trying to think of another fantasy, like a centaur. Have I used a centaur before? I feel like I've used a centaur before. I feel like I have. That's on me. I'm off my game. A
man
Folks,
with a horse head and a octopus body. Squigglies.
Nope. That was yeah. Okay. Brandon Perna, we got a bunch to talk about. Real quick, I actually want to talk about this Broncos thing because we've actually talked about this on the show before, because it was like, a few months ago, it was like, oh my God, this is breaking news. And you were like, we've talked about this months ago. Like, this wasn't anything new. However, looks like there's a little bit of a newer development now with the Broncos potentially getting a new owner, which will be Brandon Perna and Tom Grossi. That's right. GPS is going to buy a football team. And that's when Aaron Rodgers is going to come to Denver. We're going to get Nathaniel Hackett. We're going to get Getsy. We're going to get everybody. We're going to rock. We're going to roll. We're going to get Scooter Elway in real life. Scooter Elway is going to drive by on a scooter every single time someone donates $100. That's right. He's not going to sleep. He's not seeing his family. It's going to be amazing. Oh yeah,
we should do a live stream, Tom, with the goal of earning $4 billion in super chats so we can buy the Broncos.
I mean, yeah, $4 billion. I mean, do you think they would take cash?
Oh, they got it.
Would they lower the price if they took just straight cash?
Cold hard cash, easiest sell on earth.
Yeah.
God, that would be nice. But then, what if we just kept the $4 billion and didn't buy the team?
Oh,
and you and I flee the country.
Oh my God, can we get a volcano base?
Yes. Oh, let's become villains to the world. Yes.
I'm so excited. Excited. Here's my plan. Ready for this? Here's my plan to destroy the planet. We do absolutely nothing and just let things continue the way they are. And it's going to be dead in 30 years?
Look at our perfect plan.
That's right. Anyway, so Broncos might get a new owner.
Yeah. So basically what had to happen, there was a court case with former team owner Edgar Kaiser, who owned the Broncos before Pat Bowlen. He sold to Pat Bowlen. And at the time, part of the agreement in the sale was that Edgar Kaiser would get right of first refusal if Bowlen were to ever sell the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
So that had to go to court because he still wanted the right to first refusal. And the court said, in not so many words, screw you. You don't get right to first refusal. So now the team can move the trust, because the team's owned by a trust led by Joe Ellis at the moment. They can move on with their plan to sell the team. I guess the Bowlen family is technically still in play to be the owner, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's very, very unlikely. And two of the groups that will be bidding are a John Elway-led ownership group and a Peyton Manning-led ownership group. So yes, John Elway can't afford the Broncos on his own. Peyton Manning and the Manning family cannot afford the Broncos on their own, but they know rich folk. They know guys with deep pockets. And I've seen Elway and Manning with said hands in those deep pockets before. It's like, what are you doing to that man under the table there? And it's like, just feeling how deep his pockets are. Oh, okay, because you want to buy the team. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So now, after the Broncos hire their head coach, we're supposedly going to get a timeline from Joe Ellis about what's going to happen with the Broncos. And the favorite in Broncos country is a Manning-led ownership group.
Would figure, yeah.
Probably my guess is John Elway, because he is very close to Joe Ellis. He has the inside track on landing this deal, but we'll see. Who knows? Maybe a Bezos comes in with an offer they can't refuse, and that's the next owner. I don't know. Jeff Bezos is interesting, not because he's so rich, but because Thursday Night Football is going to be on Amazon Prime for the next 11 years. So he's got real interest in the NFL. I don't know how interested he is in the Broncos. It's been said he's not, but by the time next season starts, the Broncos will be under a different owner.
So how long do we have to raise the money?
We have probably a month or two, a couple months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have like 2 months to raise $4 billion.
Yeah, it can be done.
Okay. I mean, right now, I've made $15.98 on this stream alone. So, like, I think we're going to crush it, honestly. I think we're going to crush it.
Where am I? How many? Oh, I got 29. $29. We halfway there.
Well, I mean, YouTube does take 30% of that. So,
yeah,
I've made less than that, but
so like $21 or something.
Yeah, it's something like that. Okay, but listen, we're like you said, we're halfway there. We're living on a prayer. Now, my question for you is, Brandon Perna, so if the Mannings come in, do they shoo some people out?
Will
the scooter never ride again?
You mean Elway? Well, yeah, I think it's one way or the other. I don't know why Elway and Manning didn't come together to get an ownership group, but the consensus is Elway's probably gone unless he's in some sort of ownership situation. Whoa, Mike Burns.
Whoa!
For the cause.
It's for the cause, baby. And you know what that means. It's the best cause of the year.
Johnny John!
Oh, that's it. That's Elway going away because we outbid him to get the Denver Broncos.
Damn right. Here's some weird news, Tom. Eric Weddle signed by the Rams.
Why?
With an injury to Jordan Fuller, Weddle steps in. Wow. Eric Weddle, great safety for a long time. Seems a little bit old.
Yes.
To be jumping in to play safety. Were there no other safeties available?
How old is he now?
Let me look.
Like he's old.
He is 37.
Holy crap. Okay. That's a decision. Now, my question is, can he stop Matthew Stafford from throwing interceptions?
Ooh, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe helping him in practice, like, oh, here's a pick. Don't do that in the game.
I think that would be very helpful. Okay. Yeah, Eric Weddle signing with Threaten. That's an odd one. Or is he just like, listen, guys, give me $1. I just want to try to win a Super Bowl. Like, I would love if Eric Weddle just like goes on every single playoff team just trying to get a ring. And he's like, guys, like, come on. I'm just trying to. That's it. Perna, this wasn't on the rundown, but I wanted to show you something. It's 30 seconds long, so it's a little bit long. Hey. Oh.
Yes.
Hey.
You ask for it, you get it, basically. Show me this thing, Tom, that's 30 seconds long.
This graced the internet, and I don't know if you saw this yesterday, but Matt LaFleur, his acting debut in a commercial where he screams at the top of his lungs, Is that a pancreas? I want you to just enjoy.
No, I
this.
did not see this.
It was a great day today. I really liked what I saw in there.
Coach, what you see? Looks good. Need a little suction here.
Oh, wow. Is that a pancreas?
When you need surgery, remember Bellin Health's surgery team is in a league of their own.
What I saw was a team playing at the highest level. And a pancreas.
No, that wasn't a pancreas.
Oh, it was a pancreas.
Welcome to your healthiest life from Bellin Health.
Wow. Is that
Coach
a pancreas?
Coach of the year. Coach of the year.
Oh, man. Don't, because you have LaFleur, Vrabel, Coach of the Year in the rundown. What if Matt LaFleur is looking over at that surgery and instead of pancreas, he says, is that Mike Vrabel's penis being removed? Because Mike Vrabel won the Super Bowl. Therefore, he wins Coach of the Year. But we acknowledge them both together.
Got it. Plays
Anybody
every day.
who doesn't know, that probably is like, whoa, that came out of left field. No. Mike Vrabel said he would cut off his own to get to a Super Bowl as a
Wiener
head coach. So that's why.
Listen, I kind of want to clip that of just like, is that a pancreas? And I want that to be played. That needs to be a thing.
That needs to that goes right with Scooter Elway. It goes with hey.
Yep.
Is that a pancreas?
Goal. Is that a pancreas? Is that a pancreas? So, yep. So yeah, but that's a great transition into Coach of the Year because I figured we would talk about that because it really is between two people at this point, right? It is between Mike Vrabel of the Tennessee Titans and Matt LaFleur of the Green Bay Packers, both number 1 seeds. Whoa, we got a hundo.
Dustin Shores
saying, "Go get it, guys."
Dustin lands on the shores and helps Tom Grossi and Brandon Perna buy the Broncos.
That's right. And it also means
Johnny John John!
it's the laugh at the end that always gets me. It's the laugh.
Yeah, I believe that's Nikki Jabala and Lindsey Jones on behind the camera there.
Wow, that actually was very impressive that you knew that.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, Nikki was a beat reporter here in Denver for a long time. I believe Lindsay was as well. So they posted that like a couple of years ago now. But I don't remember which one actually filmed it. We should get to the bottom of that one day. We should have them on to talk about the origins of Scooter Elway. That would be fun.
I kind of want that during the off season when it's just like there's nothing. It's like, you know what? Let's talk. Do you think we can get John Elway on the show? Maybe.
If he wants to earn Broncos country's respect again.
I wonder if we could.
A man who's done so much for the city, and Broncos fans like, no, don't want him to own the team. No, give me Peyton Manning.
Don't like him.
Give me Peyton or give me death.
He's just like, I freaking helicoptered for you in Super Bowl 32. I helicoptered. I didn't pick a good QB ever, but I helicoptered. That's it. Is that a pancreatitis? Is that pancreatitis?
Pancreatitis.
Pancreatitis. 25 for going live. It'll catch on. That's it.
Hell yeah.
Is that a pancreas? Yeah, no, we're gonna have to clip that. We'll clip that bad boy. But anyway, Zach Taylor is being mentioned in the chat too, the Bengals head coach, about potentially being coach of the year. And I think that there's definitely some credence to that. I just think the front runners are going to be Vrabel and LaFleur, just because of what they were able to do with all of those injuries. On top of that, being the top 2 teams in their conferences, and I think Vrabel definitely gets a lot of credit because obviously Derrick Henry wasn't there. AJ Brown wasn't there for a spell, kind of turning the team around a little bit, especially turning that defense around. And then LaFleur, I mean, this is his 3rd straight year with 13 wins, and they've swept both the AFC West, the NFC West, and, they're setting records all over the place without their offensive line. Their starting left tackle just got back, for the last game for 28 snaps this past Sunday. They lost their center. They lost their guards. They lost right tackles. Billy Turner's still out. They've lost everybody. They've won on the road without Devontae Adams. Yeah, I just think it's very interesting as to who's going to win it, because the knocks against LaFleur are you have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, he has rejuvenated Aaron Rodgers' career, and I truly believe that, because, you know, when he first came in, you know, Rodgers in his first year with LaFleur, you know, like, was okay. It wasn't like wasn't God-like he usually is. But then these past 2 years, I mean, you know, he's front runner for MVP this year, and he's looking like he's going to get back-to-back MVPs. So I think that he has literally like just made Aaron Rodgers even better as a player. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think LaFleur can get it if Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay. Got to keep Rodgers. If he's the man who convinces Rodgers to stay, he can get that award. I think it's really hard to give a head coach. I just feel like Vrabel's done more with less. Does that make sense? And it's not to take away anything that LaFleur has done, because I think he's outperformed my expectations of what he would be as a head coach for the Packers. But I think he went into a much more winnable situation. If you don't have questions at the QB position during the regular football season, the Packers have those questions during the offseason. I think maybe, oh man, the fact that the Packers front office gave LaFleur Jordan Love in the first round instead of maybe a playmaker that could help him every week. Maybe Jordan Love is the X factor that could get it one for LaFleur as well. I don't know. It's just this season for the Titans. I think if you're looking at what a head coach actually brings to the table, Vrabel just exemplified that. He navigated the same issues that LaFleur did with injuries and just got more out of a less talented team, rectified a defense that was a liability last year. So that's why I would have to give it to Vrabel. But either way, like, if it goes to LaFleur, nobody's going to be mad. You know what I mean? It's not like one is a clear-cut winner, and that's why, like, you could debate it either way, I think.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if Vrabel got it, I'd be like, okay, I get it. Like, I 100% get it. I think that it's a matter of, like, you were talking about, like, should it with MVP, but, like, maybe with Coach of the Year too, like, playoffs maybe should matter. But they're not going to. I just think that with all the injuries, no Jair Alexander, no Zadarius Smith for basically the entire season, all is shifting on the offensive line. Like, I think that the Packers have navigated a ton of injuries too. I just think that gets less talked about because it's like, oh, well, you still have Aaron Rodgers, so shut up.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like there's a punishment that's going along with LaFleur because he has Aaron Rodgers.
You could also just be like, Texans, Jets, we didn't lose to them.
That is true. That is very, very true.
Two of the Titans losses were to the Jets and Texans, you know?
By the way, Brandon Perna, it's done.
It's done?
Oh, wow. Is that a pancreas?
Hell yeah.
There you go.
We got a new clip, baby.
AK, thank you, bud. Appreciate you.
Hell
that was
yeah.
great. So yeah, I can see it going to either one. They might just give it to Vrabel. I wouldn't be surprised if they just gave it to him. And he's earned it. So do you think Zach Taylor is actually in the running though?
Probably. I think a lot of people think he's a really good head coach. I think a sign of a good head coach is when teams want to start interviewing your coordinators for head coaching positions. And that's happening with the Bengals now.
And?
You know what I mean? They want Callahan. They want, what's his first name? It's not Bill. That's his dad. But they want Callahan out of Cincy. I think he's one of the 50 coaches the Broncos are currently interviewing.
Yeah, well, you're interviewing all our coaches because you're trying to get Hacky Hack. Nathaniel Hackett's a busy guy, too. He's going to the Bears as well. He's looking at the Jaguars job. I want him to like walk into the Jaguars front office, interview with them, and then like show a lot of interest, and then just call them up and be like, F you, and just hang up the phone. Like, just be like, no, or like crap on the desk.
Yeah.
Because
I want him to walk into the interview, shake hands, be like, yeah, thank you guys for the opportunity. Sit down and go, let me start with a question. No.
Yep.
That's how it's got to play out.
I think so.
All right, Tom, because okay, Joe Judge was fired last night, right? By the Giants. Kind of late, a little bit late. Do you think John Mara was bullied into firing his head coach?
I think that there is a lot of, let me put it this way. No, because if Mara knew how to read the room, they would know how much the entire league hates him for the taunting thing. So I don't even know if he knows how to use the internet, to be completely honest with you. So I don't think that he was going to be pressured or bullied, because he probably woke up and maybe someone sent him like a letter, a strongly worded letter that he was able to get his reading glasses on and look at and be like, oh, maybe I should fire him. But no, like outside pressure, I just don't know how you could look at the job that Joe Judge did this year and even contemplate keeping him. I mean, it seems like the guy actively tried to lose his job every single week. And when you're having Mike Glennon out there and you're getting negative 10 yards total passing yards for an entire game, and then your QB sneaking it on 3rd and 9, like at this point, I'm calling up RG3 and I'm like, hey, do you want to just like play for a couple games and just like, toss the ball around? Because it can't be any worse than what they actually put on the field. When you are giving your season ticket holders who are going out to crap-filled, swamp-filled New Jersey, and you're giving them a medium soda, but you have to make sure that you're presenting your season ticket passes. No, the organization as a whole is a joke. So I don't think he was pressured. I think that maybe he just woke up and was like, maybe I should do what's right for the team. But if I'm a Giants fan, which, oh, God forbid, but if I'm a Giants fan, I have no confidence that they're going to hire a good head coach or GM. I have no confidence whatsoever.
No, I'm working on a video about the firing of Joe Judge. And that's one of the things I put in there. It's like, just because, Judge is fired, doesn't feel like this organization is going to make the right move. Now, that said, they might, because they are interviewing Joe Shane from Buffalo, who came into Buffalo with Brandon Beane. And I think most people agree Brandon Beane has done a hell of a job in the Buffalo Bills front office since he's arrived there. Mm-hmm. And if Joe Shane goes to New York, maybe his connection to Brian Daboll brings Brian Daboll to New York as their head coach. I don't even know if that's the best scenario for Brian Daboll to go to, but maybe if somebody can get something out of Daniel Jones that makes it look like he was worth the first round pick, then it'd be all right. But they have to find a GM and a head coach, and that's probably their best case scenario right now. But that said, just because Joe Shane worked with, Brandon Beane doesn't mean he's as good as him. Doesn't mean he's going to do the same job. It's a tricky hire. Likely the probability is failure.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, we're talking about, and we'll get to ranking these kind of like these vacancies about, where head coaches could go. But if you're a head coach, I understand, like, you want to get that on your resume, what have you. But considering how competitive it's going to be, what in God's name do the Giants offer to any head coach if they're getting multiple offers? I think out of there's 6 vacancies right now. Out of the 6 vacancies, you get offered any other job besides the one with the Giants, you're taking that other job, like any other team, because you now have to figure out, am I giving Daniel Jones a 5th-year extension? Because now is the time you have to figure that out. That's a problem. Am I even going to draft a QB? Let's take a gander since Tom Coughlin left in 2015. We've had Ben McAdoo from 2016 to 2017. Then we had Steve. Don't forget Steve. Pat Shurmur, and now Joe Judge. Can't forget Steve.
Yeah,
so we've
you had
gone
Pat
through,
Shurmur.
Yeah. We've gone through 4 head coaches now. And since Coughlin left. Like, the team right now is in disarray. The offensive line is a problem. Who the hell knows about Saquon Barkley anymore? You don't know if you have a QB. The guys that you brought in at receiver, I know that they were injured for the majority of it. Neither of them your first-round pick or the guy you spent $1 billion on in Kenny Golladay. Neither of them scored a touchdown. Their defense is hit or miss. Like, that is a from the ground up rebuild, and I don't know if the franchise is even going to do that the right way. So, yeah. Yeah, Roger's going on Pat McAfee and was just like, yep, Joe Judge. Maybe someone showed Mara the Pat McAfee show, and he was just like, oh, maybe I should do this. Or he probably tried to flag Aaron Rodgers for taunting.
Yeah. I'll tell you what makes the Giants appealing. It's that they have 2 top 10 draft picks right now. Number 5, number 7. So you can get 2 franchise players just through the draft alone. No free agency, finagling, no worrying about, the salary there. So, like, if you're a head coaching candidate, you believe in your scouting ability and the people you can bring with you as scouts, then I think in terms of draft, the Giants are the most appealing destination because they have those 2 picks there.
Sure.
A knock there for Chicago is one of those picks is by way of Chicago. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's go through and kind of rank where we are in terms of like which are the most attractive head coach vacancies.
Sure.
By the way, if you want to look more attractive and get a 6-pack,
do it with DraftKings Sportsbook.
They'll give you that beach body.
Doing sit-ups to
in a
check
bikini.
your bets. We promote exercising while sports betting. Get in the game with sports betting exercises. Brandon Perna's new YouTube channel, Getting Ripped While Making Money on Football Betting. That's right. Code GPS over at DraftKings this week and this week only, except it will go on next week and the week after and the week after that. NFL playoffs. In honor of Super Bowl 56, you can bet this wild card weekend, bet $5 and win $280 in free bets if the team you bet on wins. That's right. Those are funny odds. 56-1 odds. And you can bet it on any wild card team. It's just $5. You bet it, you win friggin' money. Okay? Also, you can still play daily fantasy with the DraftKings Daily Fantasy app. Download it. Download DraftKings on your phone. Download it on your tablet. Just don't throw your tablet like certain NFL quarterbacks, especially if you're in the middle of a sports bet. Just use our code GPS. DraftKings supports this show. They are why Tom and I have been able to go on strong week after week after week after. I mean, at this point, DraftKings is kind of like our prison guard. We can't not do this show.
No.
DraftKings made us prisoner to our own show. Wow. That's what they wanted me to do.
Crushed
DraftKings. Don't go to prison. Sports bet. Nailed it.
That saved it. Real quick, I think that's a really good question by Spencer. I don't do either of those things. I think that you don't pick up his 5th-year option. And I don't even know if you draft a QB in this draft. I think you get some pieces that are going to help like build your team up. Give Daniel Jones that one last year as a prove it year, and then take it from there. And then maybe draft a QB the following year if you suck.
Yeah. I mean, it also depends with the Giants what this quarterback free agency period looks like, right?
Yeah.
The Giants as a whole might not be an appealing destination, but playing in New York as a high-profile QB is. So, I don't know. Maybe Russell Wilson to the Giants gets some new life, depending
Why
on.
would he do that? Like, why? I still have never understood it.
Let me tell you something about Russell Wilson. Tom Brady.
Yes, just a king, and sometimes all the men.
He's a little crazy. He's a little crazy, and you can't try and figure out a guy like Russ.
Yep.
Oh,
Tim, I got in there. It's gonna be 2 degrees. It's gonna be 2 degrees on Saturday night. I cannot wait. It's so football weather. All right, we'll get there though. All right, let's talk about these head coach vacancies. So right now, the teams that we got, you got your Broncos, you got the Jaguars, the Dolphins, the Bears, the Vikings, and the Giants. Maybe the Raiders, but we'll keep them off right this second. So, Perna, you've come out and said that the Denver Broncos are the most attractive.
Yes.
Pourquoi? Straighten my tie out.
Wow. Where to start? In terms of player personnel, I look at all these rosters. Broncos probably the most talented team. You could maybe put the Vikings in there. Offense, they are missing quarterback. That's the missing link. Solid offensive line, young talent on that offensive line. You just add a young right tackle maybe in the draft, and you got a great offensive line. Skill players are there, underperforming because Pat Shurmur's an idiot, and you've had up and down QB play. Defense, very good. Top 3 in scoring this season. So the team is there. The ownership situation going to shake out nicely this offseason. Trust me. And as I heard, I think it was on the NFL Network, the NFL views the Broncos as a national brand. A national brand because we are in Denver and there are no football teams in close proximity to us. So we got Wyoming, we got New Mexico, we got half of Kansas, we got Utah, we got Idaho, we got Montana, we got maybe the top corner of Arizona. A lot of Broncos fans in this nation. So in terms of eyeballs, reach, quarterback, coach, people want to play here. People want to be in Denver. We got legal weed. We got sports betting. We got great breweries. We got skiing in the off season. We got Casa Bonita.
Casa Bonita.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone now. South Park creators. We got South Park. We got it all. Come to Denver. Get fucking high, baby, because we're gonna take you to the sky. If I were convincing a head coach, that's what I would say.
I love how
I hope you heard that.
A quarter of that was about football, and then it was like, listen, there's so much more than just football. You want to make sure that
real estate prices are through the roof, but we're still better than the West and East Coast.
Wow. Okay, I see you. Okay, that's fine.
And we love our guns here too.
While we're smoking our doobies. I love how part of the argument was, we got Wyoming.
We got Wyoming to watch your football team. We got Wyoming.
Okay.
Now, Wyoming is basically like part Kansas, part Colorado. You got Yellowstone. You got Jackson Hole. There's some beautiful places in Wyoming, but there is a lot of nothing. Oh, my God. It's half ugly, half beautiful. Anyway, funny because you've got Broncos as the number 1 destination as well, Tom.
Nope. No, I don't. No, I do not. I do not. That I even wrote beneath it. Oh, you deleted it, you son of a... I said that this is just listing. This is not ranking.
Oh, you son of a gun.
Yep. No. Yeah, no. If I had to guess which one was the most attractive, I could do process of elimination. It sure as hell is not the Jaguars. It's not the Dolphins, and it's not the Giants. So there goes half of them already. The Bears, I think, are attractive, but Allen Robinson's going to be leaving. There's things up in the air. Justin Fields, I think the ability to develop a first-round talent is definitely attractive, but I wouldn't put them as the number 1. I think it comes down to the Vikings and the Broncos. And I think it depends on what kind of head coach you want to be. If you want to hit the ground and be competitive right away, I think it's the Vikings just because the established pieces are there. Not saying that the Broncos aren't, but you need to rely on getting a franchise quarterback for you to be like, hey, we're playoff ready right this second. And who knows if that's going to happen, whether it's with free agency or the draft or what have you. So I think the Vikings are probably the most attractive one. And it's also thrown into that, especially if Aaron Rodgers leaves, because then you have a wide open division in which the Lions are rebuilding. Who knows what the Bears are doing? They need a new GM and head coach. And, the Vikings, I think, will have probably the best offense if Rodgers leaves. So I think that's pretty attractive. But
yeah, I have Broncos 1. I have Vikings 2 because say what you want about Kirk Cousins. I think you can come in there as a new head coach and you can win right away. So in terms of your job security, you're all right. And you can evaluate your next quarterback while Kirk Cousins is winning you games. Like, that's a luxury most coaches aren't going to have. And the next quarterback draft, 2023, supposedly going to be a lot more lucrative than this one. I think that's kind of hogwash. Now, I see a lot of people saying Miami as a top destination. I disagree.
Completely disagree.
Mean, I think Brian Flores got the best out of that team, but I don't think you like the ownership there. What's the guy's name? Ross? Who's their
Ross.
owner?
Yep.
Bob Ross.
Yep. I think it's
that
Steve
dude
Ross.
seems like a joke. That seems like a joke ass owner. And the GM Greer, like, I don't like that combo if I'm a head coach. No. I don't like having to go play for those guys who couldn't make it work with the coach who seemed to be getting the most out of the team. Now, there are rumors like Flores didn't like Tua.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think any of that's true or has merit. Like, that's kind of what happens when a coach leaves.
Yeah.
Dirt gets thrown up to try and make ownership look like they were in the right. And it was Stephen Ross who wanted to bring in Deshaun Watson, like, not Flores, based on everything I've seen. So,
yeah, I actually have like my list right now. I'm gonna build a happy little team here. Tua throws an interception. They're just happy accidents. That's fine.
Happy little accidents.
Right now, mine is Vikings, Broncos, Bears, Dolphins, Jaguars, Giants. And the only reason why the Jaguars are below the Dolphins, we actually have a very similar one, the Dolphins are ahead of the Jaguars, is because the Jaguars' ownership with Khan, I think, is garbage.
Yeah.
They could run a wrestling organization in AEW, but I don't even know if he believes in the team.
No.
You know what I mean? They're talking about going to London. Like, there's all like I just don't like them at all.
Hey, forget about it. We're going to go to London where everybody talk like this.
Have you been to London before, Brandon?
Hey, give me the gabagool over here in London.
You watched a Harry Potter film or Benedict Cumberbatch once?
Yeah, The Sopranos was set in London, my friend. No, but you're right. The thing about Jacksonville that makes it more appealing than the Giants is I believe in Trevor Lawrence as a quarterback more than I do Daniel Jones. And the expectations in Jacksonville are so low. They are down here. So a head coach, you can't do worse. You can't do worse than having the number one pick 2 years in a row, because as bad as you can be, that's the same. You being horrible is the same as what they've already experienced.
That's the baseline.
Personally, I like low expectations and I like to barely over deliver. So if I were a head coach, I go to Jacksonville, I win 4 or 5 games and people are kissing my ass. Like that Perna. Oh my God. Did you see? He got 2 wins against 2 horrible teams, 1 surprising win against an okay team, and let's keep this 3-win coach for another 10 years, baby. Let's keep it.
I honestly, yeah. The Dolphins are like in a weird spot too because their defense took a step down. Like their defense, it was like middle of the pack. I did a whole video on it, but like their defense is middle of the pack. They have no run game. I think they were 31st in rushing. We don't know what we have into it. Their offensive line is abysmal. And now you're going with another head coach. So, and you basically just have to bend the knee to the GM, apparently. Like that's how that goes. So
Bend the knee.
Bend the knee, not like in a cool way, like Kurt Benkert. And I just think that if you're a head coach who wants like any type of freedom, and doesn't want to just kiss the GM's ass the entire time, Miami's not the place for you because the GM wasn't even happy with Tua either. So like, I don't even know what that team looks like, coming into this. Like you walk into this season and you're like, oh, the Dolphins can be contenders. That's why they were on my list of, top 5 most disappointing teams. So they really, they got that 7-game win streak after that abysmal start, but yeah, I don't know about them. And they don't have a number. Oh yeah, they don't have a draft pick either, right? They're the ones who don't have a draft pick.
Who?
The Dolphins.
Well, let's see here.
Right there, the first round. No,
they have pick 22 based on that trade with the Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
So not a top 10 pick.
Yeah, not a top one though.
15.
Yeah.
They would have picked 15, but the Eagles have picked 15. The Eagles have picked 16 as well from the Colts.
Yeah.
And pick 19
49ers.
right now. It depends on what happens in the playoffs, but
They're not going to have a top pick.
no.
So a crap record without a top pick. They're basically the Texans. But the Texans actually get to pick this year. Good job, guys. Good job. Yeah. So that's what I would say is like most attractive. Yours is very similar because you're saying Broncos, Vikings, Bears, Dolphins, Jaguars, Giants. Yep. So our last 4 are all correct. It's literally just a swap of Broncos, Vikings. So.
Yeah.
Bless you. Enrico, that's actually a really great question. So usually, and Mark Murphy's actually talked about this, usually there's a lot of interviews. So like there's a number of them. It's not just like a one come in and then you're done. Because I mean, if a team does that, then that's already a huge problem. But usually like you have a pool of candidates and you put them through kind of like the ringer. You talk about like, where you want them in the future to be, scheme, stuff like that. The Packers are known for asking like some really intense questions as well. But yeah, it's a little bit of like column A, a little bit of column B. So it's a bunch. The Eagles do have 3 picks. Yes, they do. Speaking of comparing things, Brandon Perna. Oh, is this the crap on Tom Brady segment?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just saw some people posting Brady's passing chart on Twitter, and they're comparing it to Tua's, and I think Tua's is more favorable.
But people tell me he's the MVP.
He's the MVP, where all of his good passes happen between 0 and 10 yards.
I mean, he can
he's
still move the
okay
ball
10 to
downfield.
20 as well, but
yeah. So there's that. And then we got the power rankings, baby. Speaking of comparing.
ooh,
And now both of us, 14 teams on there because it's the playoffs, baby. Ooh. Ooh.
look at this
Interesting.
sexiness.
Okay. Interesting. All right. There's some similarities, but there's some major differences here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we both put, Green Bay, Tennessee, 1 and 2, and I think that's out of respect for the bye. You earn the bye, you earn the spot there.
See, I disagree. I do. The only reason why I have them as 1 and 2 is because they have returning players that are game changers.
Well,
That's why. Yeah. Like that's like the big, the buy is like great, but I've also, I'm pretty sure like I've put number 1 teams like lower before. I think it's just a matter of like the Packers have 2 studs coming back, and then you have David Bakhtiari who came back this past Sunday. And then like the Titans, Derrick Henry completely changes it up. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense for 1 and 2. You have
Also,
the Buccaneers at 3.
Yeah, I jumped Tampa over Kansas City based on what you just said, Tom. The Buccaneers are getting Shaq Barrett back. They're
And
getting
Fournette.
Jason Pierre-Paul back. And they're getting the key to their offense, playoff Lenny, back. Now, they've been winning without those guys. But again, they had an incredibly easy schedule to finish the season. But I think the Bucs they're getting guys who are going to come back rested and ready to go. They extended Vita Vea like a week or two ago.
Yep.
Probably the best nose tackle in the league, close to it. You know, there's probably a revolving door of like a top 3 there. But huge. They extended him past the Tom Brady era. Hopefully. But yeah, and I had to dump the Chiefs down 1 because they nearly lost to the Broncos. And if it weren't for a blown play that resulted in a late Chiefs touchdown, Denver probably wins that game. They were about to score and extend their lead. Instead, there was a massive point shift. So, and the Bengals worked the Chiefs, in my opinion, as well. So I think there's some question marks around the Chiefs. If I had to bet on a team to go further, I'm taking Tampa right now over Kansas City. So that's why I did that.
All right. Buffalo, you have as number 5. I have this as number 7. They really did not. See, the Bills, for me, I just have no idea what the hell they are. Like, I truly don't know. You watch them, and they could go on a run. But they are so inconsistent. And I mean, they didn't look amazing against the Jets for a good stretch of that game. On top of
it's the Bills, Tom.
Okay. You know what? Point taken.
You're right. No, they're not perfect. Their flaws are basically on offense, in my opinion, consistency. The defense is why I got them at 5. Their defense is legit. Their defense sacked. They sacked Zachy Wilson 9 times. Held him to a passer rating of 35. They're getting more production out of Devin Singletary, which I think is key. And Josh Allen, little wild. I think Brett Coleman called him the angel of death or something like that, which I think is great.
And the Cody scene.
I think they've won close games. I think they've learned how to win close games. That plus the defense, that's why I got them at 5. I don't trust their consistency, but I don't. That's a lot of teams in this postseason right now. So that's why I have them 5. Yeah. Like, if I put them ahead of Dallas, because if the Bills and the Cowboys played, I am almost certain Buffalo would win. Certain they would beat Dallas.
That's fair. We both have Dallas at 6.
Yeah.
The 49ers, I wanted to put them higher, but I wanted to. But they also, like, their QB situation concerns me. Now, the Rams QB situation also concerns me because I've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks now. But now, 8 interceptions in 4 games from Matthew Stafford. Yes, they're going and getting guys in the nursing home. And they have a ton of weapons. You know, this will be Cam Akers' second game back, so I imagine he's going to be a little bit more involved. But, Perna, I'm going to be very honest with you. Nothing would make me happier than to see both the Cowboys and the Rams get bounced in the wild card round.
Whoa.
Nothing would make. Oh, actually, that's a lie, because the Patriots could get bounced too. Actually, that's a lie, too, because the Buccaneers could get bounced too. Oh, man, there's so much potential. There's so much.
A lot of potential.
So, yeah, they do need a solid line, 1,000,000%. Because when they rely on the running game like they did against the Falcons and commit to it, Singletary looked good. I mean, Allen was also, I think he rushed for 2 touchdowns in that game also when he was throwing 3 interceptions. So, yeah.
Yeah. You've got, I mean, Devin Singletary scored 6 of his 8 touchdowns over like the last 4 or 5 weeks for Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
I think finding that is key. And yeah, their offensive line's a little bit of an issue, and that could be costly in the postseason. But they've got the kind of quarterback who can navigate a line that breaks down, at least at this point in his career. Josh Allen is elusive enough to turn shitty blocking into like a 40-yard run. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that was a reason Drew Lock and the Broncos nearly beat the Chiefs, is Lock was just taking off running and getting these big chunk plays. And,
Yeah.
Josh Allen can do it. But, all right.
Now, question for you,
Dallas-
Brandon Perna. Did you
Yeah.
put their opponents into consideration when also ranking them?
No,
Okay.
not really.
Okay.
Because I'm going to do like a prediction episode. So I figured I would talk more about like their opponents and that.
That's today.
But yeah, I just went with who I thought, were the best teams right now.
Yeah. Cowboys and Bucks get bounced. Oh, God, please. Please. I do agree, though, that the 49ers, like, you could make the argument that they're the hottest team in the NFC right now.
Yeah,
Even
they're
though,
riding
like,
some momentum.
They got a lot of
They
momentum.
can beat you with the run. Debo Samuel might be
Great
the
job.
best skill player heading into the postseason.
Yep.
I mean, 8 rushing touchdowns, 6 receiving touchdowns, 1,400 receiving yards. He threw a touchdown last week. What can't that man do? If you shut him down, you still got to worry about George Kittle. The 49ers just got a lot of ways, I think, offensively they can beat you. I like Kyle Shanahan scheming it up for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And Jimmy G's been, he threw a couple picks, but when the game's coming down to the line, he's been all right.
He can be clutch. He can be.
Yeah.
I love how we both have the Steelers at 14.
Yeah. Dude, did you
Like-
have the Steelers in your power rankings at all this season, Tom? I don't think I did.
I don't think I did. I maybe once, maybe, but I don't think I did, honestly. Their defense has been good, but like I actually compared it to the Broncos dragging Peyton Manning's corpse to the Super Bowl.
I did too.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
And here's why the Steelers could do it. Roethlisberger statistically is playing better than Manning was that final season. Believe it or not.
Which is so bad.
But the X factor is Manning missed a big chunk of that season as he tried to rehab his foot injury and whatever else was falling apart. And he came back at the end of the season, was much better than when he was really atrocious early on, and was a huge reason Denver got through the postseason. They had to play the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. He throws 2 early touchdowns to Owen Daniels to, help get that win. And that's kind of what the Steelers need to do is they got to score early so they can unleash their defense on their opponents.
Yeah.
Because if they get down, I don't know if they're built to overcome a deficit. But like, I have them at 14, but that doesn't mean they can't go on a run. You just got to win 3. And that's the other thing. The Broncos had the number 1 seed that year.
Yeah.
Steelers got to play 3 games. You could win 3, get to the Super Bowl, and gone to do it. But I think you can make an argument they are the worst team in the postseason.
Yes. It's funny, like the Eagles I have above the Raiders just because right now the Eagles, I know heading into the Dallas game, they were the number 1 rushing team in football. So like I think that's not, you have the 49ers, like you have the Packers who are up there too. And with Leonard Fournette back, like, it'll help. But I just think a strong run game and a decent defense like could go far. Quite honestly, do I think that there's some teams that are absolutely going to get bounced 1,000,000%? But like looking at that list, except maybe I just don't believe in the Raiders. I really don't. I think any one of these teams could go to the Super Bowl because that's how like crazy the playoffs have been.
Yeah.
The Steelers can pull off some weird crap in which they're only scoring, 15 points. But if they hold their opponent because of their defense, it's going to be wild.
There's 2 teams I don't think can go to the Super Bowl. The Raiders just do not see it. And this gonna be a hot ass take. The Patriots.
Ooh, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I knew
Mac
it was
Jones,
coming.
baby. Unless he does a 180 and starts balling, I don't think he's got what it takes right now to carry that team to a couple postseason wins and into the Super Bowl. I agree with you, actually. I think if I thought about my list just a little bit more, I would have flip-flopped Philly and the Raiders. The thing about the Eagles that I don't like is that they let the Cowboys kick the shit out of them. And I know, and I also say momentum doesn't carry into the postseason, but it's just a weird way to end the season. You rest your starters.
Yeah.
With, you don't have to worry about the stadium trying to injure your quarterback after that Cowboys-Eagles game. I would have liked to see them play a little bit is maybe why I just like that last loss was so bad. I just like, I don't like it.
I understand. Like it's second and third stringers, so I'm like not.
Yeah, maybe it's better, but somebody will tell you they don't like resting their starters. Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
The Colts secured their division so many times, and then they go in and get bounced in the first round. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it means nothing. I'm willing to admit it, but
yeah, I think it's funny because I think the Raiders could actually beat the Bengals. I think the Bengals are the better football team, but I can see the Raiders doing it, but I don't see them getting past the divisional round. So I don't think that the Raiders would go. The Patriots, for me, if they go back to run first, really good defense, like playing in Buffalo, it's going to be like 2 degrees on Saturday night. It's going to be very, very cold. That benefits the run game. If it is, it could be a repeat of the first game. So I don't know. I feel like it is going to be for the first time in a very, very long time. I'm like, oh yeah, these teams aren't good. Like they won't go. But there's these X factors like the Steelers, it's their defense, right? The Raiders, they pull things out of their ass. Like I don't know how they do it, but like they somehow are just like, I'm going to be good for 25 minutes and win this football game. The Bengals have one of the most explosive offenses right now. You look at balance, some other teams. Like there's these X factors that are like, okay, yeah, I could see it because this is what I love about the NFL in the playoffs. Nothing else matters now. You win 3 games if you're playing in the wild card weekend, and guess what? You're in the Super Bowl. That's it. It doesn't matter if you just dragged your bloated corpse into the playoffs. 3 games, you're in the Super Bowl. So, and 2 for the Titans and Packers.
Yeah. The Raiders got lucky that the Chargers don't have a run defense. And I think the Bengals, they have a top 5 run defense. So they're going to have to rely on passing. And I don't think they can beat the Bengals in a shootout. I do think the Bengals can run the ball very effectively against the Raiders. It's just like, to me, the Raiders aren't a complete team. It's the weird caveat of the extra playoff seeding, and that the Colts lost, because I think all of us would have bet on the Colts to have a chance to get to the Super Bowl over the Raiders. But the difference is Derek Carr's been just a little bit better than Carson Wentz. Neither has been great down the stretch, but Wentz has been bad, and that's why the Colts got bounced there. So the Raiders, the Eagles, the Steelers, you don't really trust any of those teams. But of those 3, I like the Eagles more than the Steelers and the Raiders. And that's a weird thing to say about a young QB heading into the playoffs, which the Eagles have in Jalen Hurts. But I think Jalen Hurts is hard to defend. And I think the Eagles do have a chance to upset the Buccaneers this weekend. We'll talk more about that Friday, but
yeah, we'll jump into it there. We'll talk about potential upsets. We'll talk about it all. Whoa!
Oh, fill up. Fill up.
Can I get a hey, Eagles fan? Just bought tickets to the playoffs game. Let's go. Let's go. You get a hey for that. Yep,
May
absolutely.
the Eagles continue to be Tom Brady's postseason kryptonite.
Hey.
Hell yeah, Philip. Hell yeah.
Nailed it. Perna, I think we did it.
Hell yeah, we did.
Boop. So, folks, appreciate it. We had over 2,700 people come on out on a Wednesday. Friday, we're going to be previewing all those games, all those wild card playoff games. We'll be talking about the upsets. Perna, what you got coming out today?
Joe Judge firing video, NFL news video, little Marshawn Lynch to the broadcast booth talking video, Broncos podcast on That's Good Broncos. Gonna be busy next couple weeks. Crazy busy.
That's it, baby.
You, Tom, what you got?
Got predictions coming out today, which, Perna, I love this time of the year. I only have to predict 6 games instead of 16. I'm
Oh
just
my
so
God,
happy.
yeah.
I'm so happy. So we're going to do that. And, maybe drop another reaction video. What? Maybe.
Whoa.
What?
Wow.
Because I put out the Colts one and people were like, I like this content. And I was like, hey. So
You got it.
that's it. We're at 237,000 subs. The race to 250 is in full swing. So
Where am I at? I'm at 268.
almost
The
at
race to
260
300 or 275. I don't know. Whatever.
But folks, we appreciate you coming out, always supporting the GPS with the chats, the donos, and just your viewership and you being here. Ray, learn how to spell. But folks, thank you. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you've been navigated.
And you've reached your destination.